The winter wind bit through the trenches, a cruel reminder of the endless war that surrounded them. The ground was frozen, the air heavy with the smell of gunpowder and damp earth. Soldiers huddled in their coats, shivering not just from the cold, but from the weight of the silence. A fragile stillness hung over the battlefield, broken only by the occasional creak of a rifle strap or the crunch of boots on icy soil. Somewhere in the distance, a flare arced across the night sky, casting an eerie glow over the desolation below. On this night, Christmas Eve, the world seemed darker than ever. Men on both sides of the trenches longed for home, for warmth, for the sound of familiar voices. The war had stolen so much: joy, hope, and the belief that anything good could still exist in such a broken world. Then, through the heavy quiet, came a sound. At first it was barely more than a whisper, carried on the wind, a single voice rising from the German trenches. The melody was haunting, simple yet achingly beautiful. Stille Nacht, silent night, holy night. The words drifted over the battlefield like a prayer, soft and unassuming yet powerful enough to still even the most hardened hearts. The Allied soldiers froze, ears straining to catch the notes. Some didn't understand the language, but the tune was unmistakable. For a moment, the war seemed to pause. Rifles rested in the snow as men turned toward the sound, their breath visible in the frigid air. And then, from the Allied side, another voice joined in. Silent night, holy night. All is calm, all is bright. The English words wove together with the German, a fragile harmony that defied the chaos and hatred of war. The song grew, voices rising from both sides of the trenches. Men who had been enemies only hours before now shared a common hymn, a melody that carried them back to their childhoods, to warm fires and candlelit churches. For a brief, miraculous moment, the lines between friend and foe blurred. The music washed over the battlefield, transforming it from a place of death into something sacred, something almost holy. Emboldened by the strange and beautiful peace, a few brave souls emerged from their trenches. Slowly, cautiously, they stepped into no man's land, their hands raised in a gesture of surrender, not to the enemy, but to the possibility of something greater. They were met not with gunfire, but with hesitant smiles and outstretched hands. A German soldier offered a tin of biscuits. An Allied soldier handed over a chocolate bar. Cigarettes, scarves, and even buttons exchanged hands. Small tokens of humanity in a place that had long forgotten what it meant to be human. Some kneeled together in prayer, their heads bowed under the same starlit sky that had shone over Bethlehem centuries before. Others simply stood in silence, gazing at the faces of men they had been told to hate, now seeing only fellow travelers in a world gone mad. There in the frozen mud of no man's land, they experienced a peace that neither treaty nor ceasefire could ever bring. The song that had begun it all, Silent Night, was written long before the war in a small Austrian village during a time of hardship. Its simple melody and profound message carried through the ages, a reminder of a night when heaven touched earth. That night, in the stillness of a Bethlehem stable, the Prince of Peace was born, not into wealth or power, but into the quiet humbleness of a manger. His coming was announced not to kings, but to shepherds, ordinary men whose hearts would be forever changed. As the soldiers sang that sacred carol, they were reminded, whether consciously or not, of a deeper truth. True peace isn't merely the absence of conflict. It isn't found in treaties, alliances, or the temporary silencing of guns. True peace is found in a person in Jesus Christ, who came to reconcile not just man to man, but man to God. The moment didn't last. The war returned, as wars always do, dragging men back into the cold embrace of violence. Yet for those who were there, that Christmas Eve remained a testament to something greater. This is not just a legend or a romanticized tale, it is a true story, one preserved through letters and accounts from the men who lived it. This Christmas, as you hear the familiar strains of Silent Night, let it remind you of that sacred truth. The Prince of Peace has come, not just to bring harmony to a battlefield, but to bring peace to your heart. Whatever trenches you find yourself in, whether fear, sorrow, or strife, His light is still shining, still calling, still offering hope. Let His peace be yours this season and forever. If this story of the miraculous power of peace and the hope of Christmas moved you, please consider subscribing to Vault of Christian Mysteries. Here, we explore true stories, ancient wonders, and timeless truths that point us to the glory of God. Don't forget to like, share, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another journey into the mysterious and the inspiring.